When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I...
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth.
We have got some exciting news this week.
We sure do.
It's Two Sides and the Truth, 100th episode. Yay! Crowd goes wild. And is it a week late? It sure is.
It sure is.
We're consistent. So basically, if you hadn't noticed, we missed last week because it's the holidays. And between her and I, we got a lot on our plates. And,
Sure do.
you know, family always comes first. So that's really where I have been focused. But we have all kinds of exciting things coming up.
Yes.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about it being our 100th episode because, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a lot of hours. For anyone that's listened to all of them, I'm curious. Anyone that's listened to all of them,
First of all, you deserve a medal.
bless your heart. I mean, bless your heart. I'm not that entertaining.
The only reason I've listened to all of them is because I've sat here and recorded with you.
Right.
So-
I do listen to all of them because I like to listen to myself and decide what I could do better and try to break some habits occasionally and that kind of stuff. So
That's important, yeah.
I do listen to it. But also, I mean, I know my own stories. And I have to listen to them so I can remember what I talked about because my short-term memory problem is such a problem.
For both of us, it really is.
Oh, my gosh. And so I was, thinking about some of my favorite things about that we've done on the podcast. And the first one that popped into my head is the one that we did with Terry, where he told the story of coming home.
Yes.
And that nobody said welcome home and, thank you and all that. So if I was going to revisit one, I think I would revisit that one because I think a lot of people really like that one too.
I love that that episode has made it possible for people to say that to him.
Yes, I do too.
I loved hearing that.
I did too. And side note really quick.
And to say it to anybody
Yeah.
that you know that have said.
Yeah. Well, and also I think a lot of us that were my age, I'm Gen X, and, some of my classmates' fathers were in Vietnam. And some lost their dads in Vietnam. I'm old enough that I have friends that lost a parent in Vietnam. Not a lot because we were on the edge of it. But part of that is it never occurred to me. I was so young. I knew they were treated wrong, but I did not understand the depth of it, I guess, until Terry talked about it. Wow. So I thought that was really cool.
Me
so,
too.
Yeah. And side note, not going to say what it is, but I ordered Terry a Christmas gift yesterday.
I'm so excited.
I'm not going to tell what it is. I'll eventually post a picture, but it is freaking adorable. That's all I'm going to say.
I love that.
And it's from you and I.
I love that too.
Yeah, so it's cute.
One of my favorite memories coming up, and not to piggyback off of Terry. Terry's not like, Terry is our favorite person, but
yeah, I mean he is.
But honestly, I loved the Christmas parties, but I loved us going to his reunion with him and him having a double date. And
that was a good one.
It was a good night, and I really enjoy anything downtown. I also have really enjoyed our meeting up with listeners. That has been some of the cool. Like it is so much fun, and everyone that I meet is so entertaining. I'm like, you're our tribe, of course. You fit right in.
Yeah, they're gonna if you can listen to me drop the F-bomb as much as I do, then you're okay.
And not get offended.
You're gonna ride with it.
Rolling with the punches, baby.
It always makes me laugh. I mean, I know how I sound. I'm well aware. I hang out with my dad. I've heard it. I'm first up. As far as other things, I really like the fact that we can talk about funny things and we can talk about serious things.
Yes.
And that we are so intimate about our own lives. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we can't actually tell the juiciest parts of our lives. I wish we could. Y'all have no idea how much more entertained y'all would be on our dumb asses.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
You get the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, but I like the fact that we can be so open and honest and that so many people support us and message me the sweetest and funniest and the memes that remind them of me or of you and that kind of stuff. I just find it very funny.
Yeah.
I will say that I went Christmas shopping. I had tons of listeners send me the meme that went around. I think I even talked about it on here about getting your kids forks and spoons for Christmas because they throw them away. And I have done it before, and I would like y'all to know the last time I did it, I waited too long, and there wasn't a good selection, so I just had to get like nothing. Like they only had a few. No. Zeta.
You're ahead of the game this year.
Zeta got them, and she bulked up. And so when I was ringing up, the lady said to me, "Is this for Christmas gifts to your kids, like the meme?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And she was like, "I did the same thing, girl. I did the same thing." And I was like, I know. And Madison was like, "You better not give me any because I don't lose them." And I was like, "You're safe. I will not give it to you, Madison." But yes. So I just thought that was really funny. So I just think the listeners are my other favorite thing because they're just so sweet, and I just enjoy, following their lives. The ones I follow, I don't follow everybody anymore because I started getting confused about who were real. I'm like, do I know this person?
I swear, I feel like I live in the Twilight Zone most of my life, but I get it. I absolutely love the community. It is so much fun, it just is so good therapy, and that's another thing that I really love that's come out of it is the time that I've gotten to just have a therapy session, and that I'm told that's what it gives other people too.
Yeah,
that totally just hits the nail on the head for me, and it makes me really happy.
I like the same, and I like the fact that I can openly talk about my own dysfunctions and I have always, before I did the podcast with Al, I treated social media like just a funny little like family blog thing without telling all the information. Mm-hmm. But I went through a really difficult divorce, and I went through a really hard time with children with special needs, and financially it was hard, emotionally it was hard. I went through a really hard time, and so I would make light of it and make jokes of it. Because it would bring some autism awareness out there and just stuff like that. But I would make it funny. Yeah. So just the most fucked up shit would happen to me, and I would just make a funny joke about it. What it did is it made other women relate and understand they weren't alone, which was my goal. Because I felt very alone. And then suddenly I wasn't. I built a tribe of those women, and that was before this. So now for me to be able to do it on the podcast and to go in a little bit more depth and actually talk about the subject and not just make a quick little joke about it, but actually get to the meat and potatoes of what I'm talking about, that's good therapy. Yeah. And other than the fact that it would probably freak Rick out, I lay in bed at night, and I struggle going to sleep lately with my menopause situation. I have a hard time going to sleep, and I have a hard time staying asleep currently. And so I lay in bed, and all I do is think about shit to talk about on the podcast, and then I wake up, and it's gone. And I want to text it to myself, just, or to you. Yeah. But I can't be like at 11:30 at night after Rick thinks I've gone to bed, whipping out my phone. He's going to be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Who are you texting?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay, it does look a little weird. So the other night,
that's my whole life. I do that. Or I have a pad, a pen by my bed. Yeah. So I'm either getting up and grabbing my phone and saying something into it or making a note, or I am writing down a note. He is a
really light sleeper. Wow. And so I get on my phone sometimes if he falls asleep before me, and he doesn't get on to me or tell me to stop or anything, but it does wake him up. You know what I mean? Like, it does. He's not like expecting me not to sit here and play on my phone. But I know it wakes him up, and I know he gets up at 4 a.m. So I'm aware of that. I'm trying not to be a dick.
That I have a dressing room. I always go into my dressing room when I can't go to sleep, and I stay up and play in my dressing room. And I'll close the door. I'm like, "Good night, baby," and I'm like go into my room.
Well, and my thing is, I know I'm getting up early no matter what. Yeah. So I try my hardest to go to sleep instead of get up. And so then I go downstairs in the morning when I wake up super early because I don't want to wake him, but I also don't want to lay in bed. So I get up and I go do something downstairs, and that's when I like to clean. So I usually do that. Anyway, off subject, but the point is, I got all these episodes I go through in my head at night, and then I wake up and it's gone. And so the other night I did put a notepad next to my bed so the light wouldn't be so bad, and so that I could start writing stuff, because I'm like, this is when everything comes to me. Yeah. This is always when everything comes to me.
You have to meet yourself where you're able to do your work.
Right,
and sometimes that's right on the bedside table.
It's just recently become that way. I used to be able to lay down and I was asleep before my head hit. You've seen me. I will instantly fall asleep. Not lately, man. I got to think about everything that's ever happened to me. I need to think about
things.
What happened to that sweater I owned 9 years ago.
That is a recurring thing in my head all the time.
my
Is
Lord.
let's think about every horrible thing that's ever happened to us.
Yeah, let's think about
My
everything we
my
can't do anything
yeah.
about right now.
My therapist calls it my trauma highlight reel, and it plays, man. And she's like, sometimes you have to turn off the trauma highlight reel to get things done and to like be able to create. Like turn that off, turn on the creative, and see what happens.
And I catch myself this time of year getting into a funk. I have a lot of family things that happen this time of year. And so this year I've really focused on not doing that. And the podcast has helped me with that, I think, because not just this podcast, but the other podcast that I do with Al, because we've made plans to do things, and we've I'm busy recording with you, or I'm busy recording with them, or whatever the case is. And I've been trying to do fun things with the kids to keep me staying in this holiday spirit and working in the house and all that good stuff. And so I think that's the other thing I'm thankful for the podcast, is that when I need a distraction, it is a good distraction, and sometimes you need a distraction.
Yes, you do.
That's
That's why you have me for a friend.
So
what are you looking forward to with the podcast? What's something that you're looking forward to moving down the road?
I'd like to do more of the meet and greet things. I don't think I want to overdo it. I don't think it needs to be constant, but I enjoyed that, but with more time to give people heads up.
I like opening up more things like like the ladies' night and like having just a girls' night at the shop, because it makes it accessible to anybody at any time, like because different people are going to be available different days and at different times. So a weekend thing is going to work for some people, an evening thing is going to work for some people, a lunch is going to work for other people.
And giving notice helps, and Al's really bad about that.
I'm really
and
bad
we're
about
that. And and like on the other one, we got the new social media director, so she decided, let's do a Christmas party for the show.
I love that.
And so I'm going to also just go on a ledge here and just verbally invite people. I'm not going to post it anywhere because it's not an event for this podcast. But Kelly's going to be my date.
I'm so excited because I'm all for supporting everybody whenever you can.
Yeah, we're all friends. And so we're gonna do a little Christmas get together, meet and greet party thing at Al's down the hatch in Waxahachie on December 15th, which is Sunday, and this upcoming Sunday, and at 3:00. And Al, Amy, Kelly, and I will all be there. And it's
gonna be a party.
It's gonna be a Christmas party. I don't think Al's doing his party this year. I'm not sure. I might have just missed the loop because I really haven't seen them as much lately. My dad's consumed my life. Anyway, so what about you? What are you looking forward to? What's your thing?
I'm looking forward to putting more of an effort into, since I have the time and I have the availability, being more present on social media and being able to post behind the scenes and like video and audio of things on more platforms.
Right.
So that is something I never thought that was going to be on my bingo card for 2025, but here.
Well,
here
I'm
it
glad
is.
you have more time because I don't, and I suck at it lately. I'm not even really posting myself. I've been so freaking busy.
Wow.
And no one wants to see a picture of me at my dad's cleaning. Like, you know what I mean? It's not really exciting around here lately, okay?
Well,
I do have some funny stories, though, that I will
sometimes you
tell
just have to make your life exciting.
I'm
in the era of doing that.
Yeah, making the most of it.
I really am. So that's mine. That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right. Well, anything you want to add to the big 100th
Just
episode?
thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you, Zeta.
Well,
thank you, listeners. Thank you, Kelly. You're welcome.
Thank you, Kelly.
Just a round of applause for everybody.
Yes, and if you could continue to support us by liking, sharing with your friends, leaving comments, we really appreciate it. We do read them. We pay attention to it. We appreciate it. It's, we do.
And if you want to get a hold of us, there's many ways you can do that. You can email us. Our email is twosidesinthetruth@outlook.com. Two Sides in the Truth podcast at outlook.com. I'm also on social media. I have Instagram, and the Instagram for the podcast is Two Sides in the Truth podcast. And my Instagram is Kelly Lady Pearl. So you can also find me on there if you want to be friends.
I'm Z Mamacita on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook, which is probably the thing I'm most active on, Zeta Owens. And then I do the Facebook Two Sides in the Truth. You can find it there. And I do post on my regular one links to that one quite frequently. So follow, like, share, all that good stuff.
Yes,
That would be
and
awesome.
another exciting little tidbit of information is I am starting to kind of dive into Patreon and see what it's all about. I haven't started one for the podcast yet, but I have started a personal one. So, and it's under just my Kelly Lady Pearl name. So it's across the board. That's what I am, Kelly Lady Pearl. So if you want to follow me, I will have some extra content for the Two Sides and the Truth. And then as I get a understanding of how that works, I'll might start one for the podcast as well.
Right. Sounds good.
Fun.
Yay. Happy 100.
Happy 100, everybody.
Woohoo, we did it.
Hey, Zeta, you know what time it is?
What time is it, Kelly?
It's time to pop the top
On the topic of the day.
day.
So Kelly has something she wants to talk about. Kelly, what's our topic?
Our topic of the day is, do we have a fucking problem?
I wish that people could see your hand movement as you did this, because Kelly is in full, I don't know, Buddha? It's kind of, imagine Buddha with his fingers, like holding the finger, or like the dancers, the Hare Krishna dancers. I don't know if that's who does it, but you know what I'm saying. Y'all are missing out on the video. So tell us about the topic. This is Kelly's topic, and I like it.
So this was used as a problem solution, a way of entering into communication to solve a problem. And I was trying to teach this tactic to a room of young adults because there was a problem. They were discussing a problem.
Right.
But, I was reading the room and nobody else was. And I was like, oh, I know how to problem solve. I know, a good communication thing. Technique. And they're like, what is it? And I was like, and I did that exact thing. And they were...
Wait, what exact thing? Do it again.
Oh, I'm gonna video it for everybody. Here we go.
Okay, good.
We're live.
Yes. Kelly, this is how she told me what the topic was when I asked her, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so I'm standing in the doorway of the room because I've just walked in and I've realized that there was a problem going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And I said, do we have a fucking problem? And they all looked at me. Well, they were just like, seriously? And I was like, well, that's a really good thing that you can do if you know that there's, a problem. Somebody or something's going on and you need to figure out what it is.
You
get right to the root of the problem, because I've done that before. And you know what their response is? Usually, no, there's no problem. And then I'm like, okay, problem solved. Because that's exactly what happened in that room. I walked in and I asked what the problem was. And they looked at me and they're like, no, there's no problem. And I was like, okay, cool, great.
Then it's over.
Now let's have some fun, because I just walked in the room.
Yeah.
And they listen. They're really good.
That's funny, because my dad lately has been a little extra. He's been a little grumpy for himself, because he's not a grumpy man. So it's like if you're used to, like Rick. I'm used to Rick coming across as like kind of Al Bundy. Rick is kind of Al Bundy.
Yeah.
He's funny grumpy. He's not really grumpy. It's like a joke grumpy.
Yeah.
My dad is never really grumpy in real life. So I'm not used to this part of my dad. But he's apparently grumpy when he doesn't have a woman. And he's grumpy as fuck.
Well, I think I would be grumpy too if I didn't have a good woman.
Oh, well, true, but it's only been a few weeks. Like, come on.
He's deteriorating fast.
Oh, my God.
It's a slippery slope. It really is. Once the woman leaves, it's a real slippery slope.
Well, this is the first time the kids have really been around it, and they're like, what the hell is going on with Granddaddy? Like, this is so weird.
A really big character change.
Yes, and I am asking him basically if he has a problem. I'm like, are you done? We're not doing this. I'm not your old lady. I don't know. We're not doing this. You can be less grumpy now.
Yeah.
You can be less grumpy now.
Sometimes you just have to invite a person to better themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to stop you right there. Let's make some better decisions.
I told him, I was like, I don't have to be doing this for you. Like, I would be like, you understand that I'm doing this and I'm giving up my free time, so be nice. Yeah. And he'll apologize. He's really, oh, you're right, I'm sorry. I don't know. Because it's not his personality. It's so weird coming from him. And so I just, every time I'm just like, I don't say that, but that's what I'm doing. I'm like, Dad, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. We're not talking like this. And so one of the things that we were kind of going back and forth about was his stupid new dog. Ginger is an asshole. She is a menace to society, and she's a little terrier mix, and she doesn't want me near my dad. She don't want anyone near Dad. So as soon as anyone comes over, she's losing her shit.
Yeah.
And so there's people showing up all day.
Yeah, it's
And-
freaking Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and she's losing her shit. But particularly on Zoll, she just decided that she can't stand Zoll. Like from the moment he walked in the door, she's jumping at him, like trying to like bite his package.
Oh,
And he's scared. Reasonably so. What man would not worry about their package? And so, but he also understands this is granddaddy's dog, and he's not
Yeah.
gonna like kick his granddaddy's dog, whatever. And so,
I would kick Granddaddy's dog
well,
twice.
Dad's over there kind of talking shit about how you're acting scared. You're scared. He can sense it. You know, I was like, no, Dad, you've had this dog a week, and maybe the people that gave it up because it's an asshole. Because it tries to bite people in their package.
Have you ever thought about that?
Like, you know, it's got the other mean dog acting nice. It's such a bully. Like, are you paying attention? And so I was like, listen, by the end of the night, I was like, calling it like I see it. Just like, do we have a problem? I'm going to kick the dog. If the dog is going to keep nipping at my son, I'm going to put my foot up its ass the next time it happens, since you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And the next time it did it, I kicked the little fucking dog. And Dad was like, oh my God. I was like, no.
You were warned.
I said, it's coming after my kid. So if that's your dog and you're upset that I kicked it, you should have taught it better.
Right.
I've only had it a week. I was like, then lock it up. So
Yeah, let's problem solve here.
let's problem solve. But the whole thing with do we have a problem? Like, I like the idea of it because like Rick is really good about that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to clank things and give you the silent treatment.
Yeah.
I don't always
You're
have
passive aggressive.
I sometimes, you know, I will get in your face. Like it depends
Yeah.
on my mood and what it is. There's two different versions you're going to get out of me. But if you're getting the passive aggressive side, he doesn't deal well with that side. He does better with the part of me that gets in his face and has something to say.
Yeah.
But sometimes I know how bad it's going to be, that I know I need to stop for a while and collect myself before I address it. But that came with age.
That you call check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yes. So he gets really mad when I do that, and he just wants an answer, and he just wants to talk about it, and he just wants to deal with it, and he just, you know, and I don't always want to do that. And you know, so I think part of that is if you're asking somebody, you know, do you have a problem? You need to be prepared to have that conversation if you're going to ask it,
Yep,
because
that's
sometimes
true.
they're going to be like, "Yep, I do have a problem, and this is my fucking problem."
Let me tell you.
Yes.
In alphabetical order, you have an attitude.
Yes. And
You are a basic bitch. And you are conceited. Do we want to go to D? You want that D? All
what's
right.
next? And or if I'm not calmed down yet, I am going to be like, fuck you, you fucking blah, 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 blah. So that's why it's important to probably give me that processing time if I act like I need it.
Right? Yeah. I
You
got
know.
to take a breather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take a time out. I put myself in time out all the time.
Yeah. So when someone does that and they're like, do you have a problem? You have to be prepared for it, to have that conversation. So you need to make sure you're at the level you need to be.
Better pray up.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's a good idea. I kind of had a situation like that with one of my kids a few days ago where I could tell there was something wrong. And I didn't ask if they had a problem. I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because it's the same idea. So I was like, what's going on? Why are you I saw this and you said this and I witnessed this and, you know, what's up?
Yep.
And they told me what was up, and they were just, you know, not having the best feelings. They were not feeling great about things right now. And so we got to have an honest conversation about it. And another kid was there for part of the conversation. And that kid was not so helpful. And that kid was kind of being an ass and like, oh, yeah, well, you know what I mean? And that's not the kind of conversation we needed to have.
Yeah.
So I had to ask them if we had a problem. And I was like, this is not about you. This is not about what you think about that. This is about how they feel.
Yeah.
Sometimes the other person feels something that you don't see coming, and you don't understand why they feel that way, even though it might be partially about you. It might not be. It might just be in general. But you know what I mean? And you don't realize you've made this person feel that way.
Yep.
You can have someone real fucking mad at you, and you don't even know it.
I know. I have the art of oblivion, which I'm oblivious to a lot of things.
Right. You
and
tune things out.
Yeah, and I don't do it in a malicious way or anything like that. But some people could see it that way.
Right.
And I'm not, and it's not necessarily that I'm an airhead or anything like that. Like I literally just have to mute out my surroundings because it's too much for me a lot of the times. So sometimes I can't read the room very well, or I don't know what's going on or why there is a problem, but I'd love to fix it. And so, I mean, I'm always open to having that conversation with someone, because usually what I feel is what is projected towards me.
Right.
I'm an empath, but I'm very sensitive in my spiritual nature.
But you miss key things.
But I do, because I have to cut it off sometimes. I cannot physically care that much about everything and everyone around me and keep my sanity. Like, sometimes I have to protect myself. And what is your problem is not always my problem.
That's true. It's like what they say, where it's like, it's not my business what you think about me. And I think it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Because there is a point where I don't care if you have a problem.
Yeah, that's true. If it's something that I
like,
can
if you just don't like me because you don't like me, I don't give a fuck.
The thing is I do actually.
Yeah, I don't.
But because I am an empathetic person and I do care about people. If you want to come up and you want to talk to me and you want to be my friend, guaranteed I will be your friend. And I'm going to respect you.
But I'm saying, if somebody, like, when you walk in a room, and I've had it happen, you walk in and you can sense within 10 minutes that someone in that room does not like you.
Yeah.
And you have done nothing to make them not like you. That might be the first time you've ever met them, and they just don't like you. And I've seen people do it to you, so I know you know the feeling.
Yeah.
And do I care enough to wonder why?
Oh.
Should I try? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And like, I got invited recently to an event where there'd be people there that I know some of them don't like me. Like, and I don't like some of them. And it's not like a dislike, like you did something to me. It's just we don't mesh. Like, we don't mesh, you know. And I've known them for a very long time. And I don't care why. I don't think they care why I don't like them. You know what I mean? I don't really care. I just know they don't. I can sense it. I can feel it. It's just none of my business because I don't care enough to fix it. Right. And I mean, that might just be age. Like, the other day, the kids and I were talking about friend groups, and we were talking about, you know, how many friend groups you have and how throughout your life it changes, and you're going to have those core friends that are going to stay your core friends and such and such. And Zoe said, Mom, you really need to cut down on your number of friends. And I was like, I actually agree with you. I have worked on that lately. And I was like, I agree with you. I think that I've been stretched thin. And she was like, I mean, they can stay your friends, just how much of a friend? And she was like, I just feel like all of us don't have enough, but you have too many. She was like, for example, at the grocery store, 2 people approached me during the 3 minutes I was away from you. Where's your mom? Is your mom here? Is your mom here? And she was like, you know too many people.
Yeah.
Cut it down a little bit.
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming.
Fine tuning.
Yeah. But the thing is, for me, I don't necessarily, defriend people. They just enter a different tier in my pyramid. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
I will always care for you and care deeply about you. I care for people I don't even know.
You're just moved to a new spot.
But you're lower down on the chain mail.
Now, I think that is accurate. That's a good description for me as well.
I'll still give you a call. Yeah. We'll give you a call, but you're just...
And I'll still invite you places. It just won't be maybe as many places.
You're a little bit down on that chain mail, but you'll get the message.
Yeah, when it's time.
Yeah. You'll sense it.
You'll know. You'll read the room.
Yes. And see, for me, the do we have a problem is because and talking about people who have a problem with you, people that you care about, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my family.
Meaningful relationships.
My family and the people that I care about and the rooms that I walk into and the houses of the people that I care and love about. So if somebody in that room has a problem with me, I do care.
Yeah.
I care if you don't care
those
for
people
me.
You should care about. Yeah.
But at the same time, if that person does not care enough about the relationship to give you a reason as why they have a problem with you, then that's really on them. If you can't give me an answer, straight answer to me, what is it? What are we good? You don't like me? What did I do something?
Yeah.
Have you just not had enough conversation with me? What is it about?
Right.
Where do you not see how I fit into this picture that we're all in? What am I messing up for you, blotting out for you, taking over from you? What have I done to
And
make,
sometimes when you ask those questions about somebody, a lot of times it puts them in check on their own head because they'll be like, "Oh shit, I don't even know why."
Yeah. Well, that's how I'm put in check.
It could be a
People-
jealousy issue
Yeah.
that they don't even realize they're jealous.
Yeah.
Like it could be, you know what I mean? That happens. You start treating someone differently for whatever reason, and jealousy a lot of times, honestly, or it could be they know something you don't know that they know about your past, and they're kind of thinking about it, or what, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, there's
small
that's
town
a
shit.
laundry list of things.
And it doesn't mean it's even true, but you know what I mean? It could be something stupid is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
once they start questioning themselves, they're like, God, that's literally a rumor. Like, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, maybe I should give her
I've
a
gotten to
chance.
know
Maybe
someone.
I should give her a chance.
I mean, I've gotten to know someone that at first I didn't have a good gut feeling about, and then once I got to know him, I was like, oh, hell, I was wrong.
And that's happened to me as well.
Yeah,
but,
it happens.
But that's also helped me a lot, like going with my intuition. So I
Yeah.
can't say that I hate it. It can be hard to be guarded and still have people feel like you're open enough to
Right.
really care about them or to want to be their friend. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that, for me, like, I'm so guarded because of just my own walls that I've put into place to protect myself,
Yeah.
that sometimes that looks like I've like built myself up on a throne,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a throne. It's actually a prison.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, but that can be why I'm perceived in certain ways of people like, oh, you know, I'll just don't even want to.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But
I
that's
think-
really
yeah,
not the case.
I think people think that about me sometimes too. So I feel the same way because I have a big personality, and so
Yeah.
a lot of people that don't like that.
Yeah, some people don't.
You know, well, I mean, as women, we're taught to be smaller
Yeah.
in all ways,
And
a
I
big
have my
personality is
whole
not
life
smaller.
been fighting that.
Yeah.
Been fighting that to be exactly who I am and
Yeah,
be
yeah.
comfortable and be funny and be loud and be an entertainer and
Be seen.
have all the fun. You know, do all the things.
Yeah.
And sometimes then people say you're doing too much, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I stay doing.
But
too
if you
much.
don't do too much, then you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
It's like you're never going to win. So I just feel like what you have to do is what's best for you.
yeah, just do what you gotta do.
Yeah, because you're never going to win.
Do what you gotta do, boo.
Yeah. So look at all our sayings today. Kelly's killing it today.
I think I'm still hungover from Thanksgiving.
You
I
had a good time.
downed some sangria,
Yeah.
and it was delicious. But you know,
Yeah, I brought wine. I didn't drink much. I was cooking so much. I was afraid to drink too much. I was afraid I'd mess up a recipe or
yeah. See, that's why I don't cook.
yeah. I cooked all day.
So how was your Thanksgiving, Zeta?
You know what? It was good. It was good.
was good.
But I did have to go to my dad's, as we discussed, and I felt like I moved there. Like I packed way more than I packed for San Saba.
Oh wow!
So my truck I had 3 coolers.
How did you even manage that?
I had kids. I had 3 coolers, a folding table, chairs, just so much food, so many bags of food, so many kitchen like utensils, like my food processor. My stepmom's been dead 10 years. I really don't know what works in the house anymore, or if they still have it. And I get all the way there, and I only forgot one thing, and that one thing was buttermilk. And what was I making? A buttermilk pie.
All I got is pie.
Yes. And so we made a pumpkin pie too, and I bought a pecan pie. That's the only thing I bought, and because I suck at pecan pies. And so I go out looking for buttermilk because the store's still open. They're all sold out. So I Googled how to make a buttermilk pie without using buttermilk. There's a substitute. I used the same recipe. A listener sent me the recipe, and I don't have my phone in front of me, and I don't want to be wrong on the name. So I'll read it on the next one. And amazing, best pie I've ever made. And that was with me not using buttermilk, with me using the substitute. I cannot believe we've gone blank on her name. And so that was with me using the substitute, which was just using plain yogurt with lemon juice, and then you let it curd for like 10 minutes before you add it in as recipe.
Oh, interesting.
And it was so freaking good. Like Rick, it's the only pie that the whole thing was gone. No one even ate the pecan pie from HEB, the $15 pie. No, nobody wanted that. They wanted that one. And then the pumpkin pie was really good. Zoe did a good job. She made that. And then it was the first time that I had ever made not stuffing. I've made stuffing a million times. I've never made dressing, which is a Southern thing. So for our listeners that are not from here, it's more of a Southern thing, cornbread dressing is.
Yeah.
And it's a different consistency than stuffing. And I had never made it because there's always another Southern woman there that brings it. And so I just had never had to make it, I guess. And it was time to make it. And holy shit, it took me days. And it was so good. Honestly, everything I cooked turned out perfect. I really did a good job. I didn't zone out. I drank 1 bottle of wine for the entire day. I spaced it a whole day so that I did not accidentally drink too much and fuck up some shit, basically.
That's important.
And the kids came over, and for a minute there, for about 24 hours, I thought that Maddie, my son's girlfriend's parents that don't speak English, were coming.
Oh.
She said they wanted to come, and I was like, well, then they can come. But I was like, oh, my God, they're coming. That's why I brought the chairs. And also, my dad is unpredictable. Like, is he going to have a shirt on? I don't know.
If he has one on, is it going to be unbuttoned all the way down? Maybe.
But yeah, you don't know what you're getting over there, you know? And so I was like, okay, Dad, we got to be prepared for this. We got to act right. He was like, okay. So I'm like having to
I want to see you on your best behavior.
Yeah, basically we had that exact conversation. And but they ended up not coming because something came up with their work. They own a business, so they didn't come. And so we sent food to them. But Zaylee's boyfriend came. He did a great job. My kids came. We had a great visit. The food was great. The company was good. I stayed the night, other than the fact that I wanted to beat the dog. Yeah. And then my dad's other dog that has always hated everybody and been like jealous of anyone that tried to like hug my dad goodbye. It's a lap dog.
Yeah.
And he's had this one since before my stepmom passed away. So it was really her dog that she had about a year before she passed away. And this dog has hated all of us. And now that this new dog is in, it's suddenly like, are we cool? Are we cool now?
We like each other, right?
Yeah.
You're going to pet me?
Yeah. And now it follows me around the house like a pup. Like literally just everywhere I go, this dog is following me that has hated me for 10 years. It's so weird.
You got promoted.
All the dynamics in the house have changed.
Everything switched.
Yes. And so we, just had a good time, and it was real. I mean, I cooked for 9 hours, and I did not sleep at all that night at my dad's. Thank God I stayed at my dad's house, but I did not, because there's no way I could have packed it up and gone home. But I was exhausted, and I was so tired I couldn't sleep. Like, when you've been so tired and sore that you can't get comfortable, and I tossed and turned all night and didn't get any fucking sleep.
I'm so sorry.
So last night when I slept in my bed, I slept amazing, and I finally caught up for it. But yeah, it was a beating. I woke up sore. Like, you would have thought I had worked out all day.
Thanksgiving is a marathon for people who cook.
I cooked everything. I had help. Like, they peeled potatoes, but no one else cooked anything except that pie.
It is the cook of the family's Super Bowl.
Oh, it is.
Every year. It is whoever's the cook in the family, that it's like you have to prep. You have to prep for like a whole month before. You to figure out who's cooking what, and then you have to get all the ingredients, and then you have to make it and make sure it's going to be good.
I ended up spending about $300 on food.
Thanksgiving.
And now I understand why people charge for a plate at some families. You know, some families everybody brings $20 or something. I get it because that meal cost me quite a bit of money, and I didn't even have to buy the meat. And Rick smokes a turkey, and then he's like, he got up early and started smoking it, and it was time to go. And I thought he was taking it to his family. Like, he acted like it was for my family, and then he said something, and I thought it was for his family. So I was like, okay, he's taking the ham. I don't care. We have a turkey, whatever. And then he was like, no, this is for y'all. This is as I was leaving. And I was like, oh, okay. So I stuck it in a cooler, smoked, hot still, like right off the smoker. And I'm like, okay, perfect. It's done. Perfect. I get there. He calls me like an hour after I get there. You have to stick that back in the oven at 275 for a few hours. I was like, the oven? The only oven I have that I have to cook 16 other fucking things in? I'm supposed to keep my alternative meat in there for hours? I was like, no. It's not happening. I said, I'm going to stick it in there while I'm preparing the pies. And while I'm preparing the first things that go in there, it can sit in there. And that's exactly what I did. And I took it out and I stuck it back in the cooler. I mean, what am I going to do? And we thankfully didn't roast the turkey. So I cooked that out in that infrared thing. So I didn't have to have it in the oven.
Yeah.
And it was the best turkey I've ever made. I'm not going to lie. And, but I forgot about the ham. So then and all day long I was having to moving it from place to place. I felt like from one city to the other city, from the refrigerator to the smoker, from the smoker into the cooler, from the cooler, in the garage into the truck to my dad's to the oven, back out of the oven, back into the cooler. I forget it. I've been cussing about this damn ham all day long. I didn't even serve it. Rick gets home. He didn't stay the night. He gets home and he calls me and he goes, I have a bone to pick with you, a ham bone. Where was the ham? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot the ham.
Ham bone.
So I literally just completely forgot that we had a ham.
Oh my gosh. You PTSD'd on that ham and you just forgot it.
I hated that ham.
You dissociated that ham right out of your life.
So then, because we didn't eat it, I had to put it back in the truck and drive it back here. And then carry it back into the house, and then put it back into the refrigerator.
It made it full circle.
Oh my gosh. And it's huge. It was an ordeal, But, other than that, it was a really low-key, good,
I love that for
event.
you.
How was yours?
Mine was really good. So most years I'm in charge of alcohol because that's my specialty. And yes, everybody in my family knows it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to send me to AA sooner or later. I'm just kidding.
Right. I saw a TikTok where a girl showed up with a dish, and they were like, "What? You brought a dish?" She was like, "Yes, I did. I'm grown now, so I decided to bring a dish." And it looks like a dish with foil, and she opens it up into a bunch of mini alcohols.
I love that.
And everybody's like, "Yeah, that's the best dish."
Well, I still did bring the alcohol, but this year I did make something, and I usually don't cook. I used to cook when I was younger, but that was a different life. And so now I don't.
You
cook.
reversed it.
I don't cook, but this year I wanted to make something and take it. So I made sure that both of the things that I made, my sister and my brother-in-law were able to eat because they both have really bad food allergies.
Yeah.
So at a lot of family events like that, there's
nothing
limit.
for them to eat.
They
Yeah.
can bring some things that they can eat, but they can't really eat a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because Chase cannot have eggs, and that's in a lot of things.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
And they don't. She does gluten-free because she has a severe gluten allergy. Yeah. So they don't get to eat a lot of things. So I made a cookie that my sister and him could both eat. And I made a pasta salad. Italian pasta salad is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And it's a family favorite too. And the Italian pasta salad was gluten-free, and so they could both eat that as well.
Good, yeah.
And so I was very happy with how they turned out too. I was very impressed with myself.
Look at you being
and my sister even my sister was impressed with me, which that made me feel good because she has to bake all of her stuff, and all of the things that she cooks and eats has to be gluten-free.
Oh yeah.
So she already knows how it's going to taste, and so it tasted good to her, and I'm like,
that's what counts, yeah.
Mission accomplished.
All right, good job.
But that feeds into, big family. I have a huge family. Everybody wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Like a big hunk of the family wasn't there. But we still had so many people, we filled up that entire house. So you basically had to break off into rooms. And there's a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
So I'm running through the house seeing everybody.
Yeah.
And that is what feeds into what our topic was off of. Was because that I literally I'm walking in and out of all these rooms because all the kids love me.
Yeah.
We're there, and there's a lot of kids in my family, and everybody loves me. They all love me because I'm fun and I hang out and I play and I do all the things, and so I have a bunch of the kids playing with me and running around, going into rooms and doing different stuff, and I'm giving them side missions and code names and drills to run because you got to keep the kids entertained, and that's my job. That's usually what Kelly's job is, to bring the alcohol and entertain the kids, and I do that.
Seems like a good combination.
I do that very well, actually. I get paid to do that.
Yeah,
and
without the alcohol.
No, with it.
Oh, okay.
Now it's with it.
Oh, yeah, now it is with it.
I've upgraded.
I see what you've done there.
It's the deluxe package.
Yeah.
Contact me for information. And anyway,
Right.
but I'm also one of the people that my aunts and everybody in the family sends on missions.
Yeah.
Because you also have to entertain the Kelly.
Yeah.
True. And she likes to be entertained. So I'm a runner for them a lot of times in the family. Kelly, go get this. Kelly. All the kids are runners. I'm still a kid, so I'm still a runner in their eyes. And so usually I'm running around the house doing stuff. I have missions. I give them missions. I'm like, hey, go find this, go do this, because I couldn't do it. And so I have to get them okay, go get this and so I'm doing all that. And so people are getting there. We have a really big family. We have a lot of people who were not new, but like, you know.
How many people would you say were there?
Okay, I can't even ballpark it, honestly.
Okay.
More like maybe 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Maybe that's way too many. No, I don't know. With the kids alone, I think it's like 20. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then there's adults, and then
Yeah.
there's people who have like girlfriends. You know, everybody is always invited to Thanksgiving. So if you're
Right.
dating somebody, or you know, you're married to somebody now,
Bring
we
'em,
didn't,
yeah.
you know, and we haven't even met up now. Anybody's welcome.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of a couple of new faces for me, but some that I do know, like I've met them before, but
Right.
like I don't go, you know, they're distant, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. It's a mixed group.
there's so many, it's hard to get everybody in. So I am running around and doing things, and I walk into a room of people, and everybody's, you know, talking or whatever, like, but I'm having to talk to somebody, and so, you know, it gets acknowledged that I'm in the room, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Pretty much I walk in the room, I was like, "Hi, Kelly." And so I knew that something was going on, and there was a problem going
Right.
on, and I had to solve that to get to my next mission.
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted that to be the
I like
topic
that you
of-
took note of it.
Yeah, it was fun. And so we all had a really great time. I may have gotten cut off by my aunt because I drank too much sangria, but you know,
It happens.
YOLO.
Yeah.
You can't make an amazing sangria and expect people not to get, you know,
And
turned up.
You're not driving.
Oh, yeah. That's
So.
another highlight of the night. I was sitting in the living room, and it was before my parents were leaving. My parents were leaving, and Amy, my sister, and her kids were going to be leaving pretty soon too. So we're all sitting in the big living room, sitting around. And I think I went in, there wasn't a seat for me, and so I sat on Dante's lap. Like,
Yeah.
I did that most of the night. He was my seat because there were no chairs. Like, every chair in the
Was
house
taken.
was taken.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. There's a lot. And then there was kids still outside just sitting on the floor. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
kids everywhere, yeah.
And so I sat in Dante's lap when we ate. I went outside for a while because they have a huge...
He's such a golden retriever.
They have a really big indoor porch area and a living area, but then everybody was taking up all of that though.
Right.
So there was a table outside on their deck, and some of the kids went out and sat
So
out there.
it
And
was
some
a
of
kids' table.
Yeah, it was a kids' table, but you know, but some of the younger adults sat out there too.
Yeah.
Some, you know, and so I went out there initially and sat at the table because I bundled up. I had
Yeah.
a blanket and everything, and so I sat out there and ate for a while. But then I was like, "Look, my food's getting cold. I'm going inside."
Yeah.
But I sat and talked to some of my cousins, and then I went in and I was going to see if anybody had finished and gotten up.
Yeah.
But nobody had, and so I was like, I looked over
Dante
and Dante
is.
was sitting, so I went, and my dad was sitting on a cooler by Dante, like so I sat in Dante's lap and I sat there eating or whatever. And at the end of the day, though, we were sitting and we were just talking before my mom and my sisters and them left. And my cousin came in, not my cousin, my nephew came in and like kind of sat down with his mom. And he leans over and whispers in Amy's ear. And then Amy laughs and she says, "No, Kelly's not driving home. Dante's driving her home." And he was like, "Okay."
Okay.
She's like, "She's good."
That's why we stayed the night. I just figured it was safer to stay the night in case I did drink while I was cooking. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long day of cooking. But I actually didn't drink too much, and I was exhausted.
I'm so proud.
But it was good. It was a good holiday.
It was. And I hope everybody else had an awesome
I'm glad
Thanksgiving too.
I had a whole week off because I need the rest.
And if you didn't have an awesome one, I hope that you had enough to drink.
Yeah, and have a good Christmas instead, I guess.
Right.
Merry Christmas.
Here we go.
Yay.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.